So, what is this toxic masculinity I'm hearing so much about? You know, some of this stuff is so overwhelming and so strange and so weird, stupid. I sometimes tend to tune out. So if this toxic masculinity thing has been going on, I don't know, for the past 2 years or whatever, I've not been paying much attention. The whole Me Too thing kind of went over me a little bit, not because I didn't want to know about certain things that happen, like abuse and sexual abuse and horrible various forms of abuse. And I certainly don't like women being treated badly or anything like that. I don't like this idea of people being treated like they're less than. I never have. But I don't really feel that feminism in this day and age is about, you know, fighting anything to do with people being less than. I think feminism these days are trying to make men less than. Unless men subscribe to a big, overhaul of, just basically give up their masculinity. I heard something about a Gillette commercial where all masculinity was given this negative slant. Personally, this is my gut feeling. Masculinity is not about mistreating women. Masculinity is not about some guy over there being hung up and freaked out and angry and, spouting off at women who are the way they are, however they are. Unless a woman is telling him what to do, unless a woman is getting up all in his face, men don't give a shit what we do to take care of ourselves. Men like it when women are independent and take care of themselves and know what they want. Men like that. And at least most of the masculine guys that I know, they like it when we're a little independent and everything like that. They also, but we don't have to be so uptight. We don't have to sit there and say, oh, well, you don't have to take care of me. Oh, you don't have to hold the door open. I'll hold it for look, goddammit, I hold the door open for everybody. If somebody's behind me and they have a bunch of stuff, I'll hold the door for them. Who cares? And even, but if a guy, is behind me and he ends up holding the door for me, I'm grateful for that. I say thank you. Just thank you. It's not a thing that's going to kill me. It's not a thing that's going to demean me or diminish me if a guy holds the door open for me. To me, at least some of the guys that I've met that strike me as real men, they don't get all hung up about a woman and the way she looks. They don't get hung up about that. I don't know, maybe some of them have their preferences, but it doesn't matter. They don't sit there and talk shit about fat women. They don't sit there and talk shit about women who don't wear makeup or whatever. They don't talk shit about, they don't give a fuck what we do, okay? As long as we're respecting other human beings, as long as we respect them enough to let them be themselves. Fuck this shit, This whole toxic masculinity thing, whatever it's supposed to be. What about toxic femininity? What about women who are up there standing on a pedestal? You can talk all you want about the men who sit there and get hung up They're not being men. They're not being men. If I'm not talking about the kind of guys that will sit up there and be so hung up about what women do. They'll talk about fat women. They'll talk about, just women who go out and do things on their own. They're not. Real men focus on themselves and what they want to do with their lives. Real men focus on their families. If they're going to marry somebody, they marry them and they are faithful to them. They respect women. They respect the woman that they love. They respect their mothers. They respect their sisters. They don't talk shit. They show respect because they have that's ingrained in them. They have the respect to give. They're not all worried because they know who they are and they know that what they want. They're not all worried about, they're not all sitting there all insecure and being hung up and being affected by what somebody else does, be it another man or a woman or anybody, a child, Real men don't abuse their kids. Real men don't sit there and say, you've got to be like me. Real men don't go out and not spend time with their kids. They don't go out and work and stay out all night, avoiding life. Real men, if they have families, they are with them. Real men, if they love somebody, they love them deeply. They are faithful. They're honest. They're truthful. They're respectful. And they love. And they do need. Maybe they don't always express them the way women do. They don't walk around and say, oh, I need you. Do you need me? Do you love me? Not really. They show their love. They will go out and they will work. And they will come home. They will help around the house. They'll fix things. They'll, help the kids and everything like that. They do things. That's how they show their love. They don't always talk, but they don't have, there are some things that they don't feel they need to talk about. That doesn't necessarily mean that they don't care. A woman can say to them, hey, I love you. How was your day today? And everything like that. And they go, oh, yeah, fine. How was your, and then they get to talking about whatever interests them. Oh, yeah, I did this today. I did that today. And the kids are doing this. Or, I read this book or I read that, and like they'll sit there and they'll get into nice conversations. Personally, me, I just want a guy to be himself. I want a guy that enjoys life. I don't need some dude sitting there scrutinizing me, but I don't need some dude trying to act like me or trying to be a woman. You want to, chivalry, fine. I love it. But, no guy's going to tell me what to do unless I'm all in his face. Saying, no, you shouldn't do that. No, you shouldn't watch sports. What are you doing? Watching sports? You want to go out hunting? Come on. You want to go spend time with the guys? Why? Why don't you go shopping with me? Do you see where I'm going with this? Me Too is blurring everything together. Feminism is blurring everything together. It's all blurring. Now all of a sudden guys are checking themselves in the mirror to make sure that they don't look so much like, I don't know, a big football player or something, or, or I don't know, a man. I can't describe. I'm not a guy, so I don't really. What I was describing is like just from observation. But a guy's not going to give a fat fuck if I'm fat, or if I'm thin or whatever. If I'm attractive to him, great. If not, whatever. He'll go with somebody else. Bottom line is, you know, a real man treats all women with respect. The only time he argues with a woman is if a woman gets all up in his face and says, you shouldn't do that. No, 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 you can't do that. That's toxic masculinity. What the fuck are you talking about? People are being conditioned too much. It's getting goofy. And too many words are thrown around that don't even mean what they mean. You know? Words like abuse. You know? Oh, that's abusive. You just spit on the ground. That's gross. That's abusive. No, it's not. Just shush. Turn away. Don't look at it. I mean, I don't think a real gentleman will spit in front of a woman. You know, if anything, they will walk away. You know, what you have here is a bunch of angry men and angry women battling it out. There are a bunch of angry men who are fed up, I think. I've seen them on YouTube. I've seen them around. They're either all cowed or they're fed up. And I don't know which one is worse. I mean, I tend to gravitate towards the guys that are angry. I cringe when I hear guys talking about fat. You know, and I'm not saying that being fat is healthy, whatever. What I'm also not saying is that being fat is unhealthy. It depends on what it's actually doing to your body. If you can't walk around, if you can't do things, if you've got diabetes, or if you know, whatever, you know, take care of the problem. Take care of the situation. Do what you got to do. Go to physical therapy if you have to. Go to chiropractors. Take some, go to the doctor. Take whatever medication they give you for diabetes if you have it. Take whatever action you need to take to get yourself healthy so you can live a little while. I'm not one of those people that say, oh, I'm past 50. I'm going to be dead soon. You know? That's bullshit. I'm going to be around for a long time, hopefully. You know? And, look, I've got cancer in my family. My sister's got cancer. And she was always incredibly healthy. And she's still doing good. You know, the treatment's helping her. So, knocking on wood. I literally, am hoping that she'll be okay. But it definitely has me concerned about, real people, real human beings are going to be concerned about their health. And they're going to try to take care of business. They're not going to sit there and let their families worry. But they also have to do, what they want to do. I'll give you a little background because it helps, I think. I was raised to be kind of resistant to femininity, okay? What is femininity? What are women? What are girls? We gravitate towards what we want. We gravitate towards what we feel. I think femininity and masculinity are whatever they are, but it's about doing what you feel. Feeling the way you feel and not, apologizing or explaining it. I loved dresses. I loved to wear dresses. I still wear them now sometimes. I'm wearing pants now, but I will wear dresses a lot when I feel like it. When I was a little girl, I would draw dresses. I would make them up and, make up all kinds of, adornments on them and everything like that. I would draw them and I'd want to wear them. And I'd see these beautiful dresses and I'd put one on. And mostly what we got was hand-me-downs, but there were some pretty dresses in there that when I was a little girl I wanted to wear, and I would wear them. My mom, Basically, she embraced feminism in a huge way, and especially 1972. I never saw her wear any makeup. I never saw her, she discouraged makeup, she discouraged perfume. That's whatever she wanted to do with that, whatever. I mean, I have no judgment here. But she literally, when I was about 3 or 4, wanted me to wear dungarees. We called them dungarees back then. I grew up in the 70s. I was born in the 60s, grew up in the 70s. And so she made me a pair of dungarees. She used to sew. She had a sewing machine. She made me this nice pair of dungarees. I didn't want to wear them. I was a girly girl. That's what they call them, girly girls now, Like that's supposed to be some kind of, it's either said as an insult or it's said as an endearing term. I don't know. I just know that I love dresses. I like to play with dolls. I didn't like to go running around. I did go outside. I love to play outside. I love to swing on the swing set. And I love to climb trees. But you can't really climb trees in a skirt. I did learn that early on. But you can, but I would do other things. I could run around, in other ways. I could walk around feeling pretty, If I had a nice dress on, I liked it. I didn't care if people made fun of me. I was doing what I wanted to do. But anyway, I didn't wear the dungarees. So finally my mom made a purse out of the dungarees. Nice purse too. It was actually very nice. The 2 pockets in the back were little pockets that you could put things in, like keys or whatever. Worked out well. Everybody was happy. But yeah, literally. My point is, I was kind of discouraged from being myself to a certain degree because I think my mom wanted me to fit in. She also wanted me to be a strong woman. And there's nothing saying that I couldn't have been a strong woman even if I was wearing a dress. Why? Or playing with dolls. You can be a very feminine woman and be super strong. You can be a very masculine man and be sensitive. Be caring about other human beings. Be compassionate. What is this bullcrap that everything has to be blurred? And, the whole abuse thing, the whole abuse mystique is just part of it. That somehow men are the only ones that can be abusive. Women are the only ones that can be victims. Meanwhile, they're talking about, oh, I'm such a strong woman. Strong why? And, a guy has to support me and it's like some woman divorces this guy, right? And she's going to accuse him of abuse just to get money, get a quicker settlement. It's just a lot of women do this. A lot of women. It's like, okay, I'm such a strong, independent woman, but here, money. Can I have the? Come on, I need money right now. I need to buy that car. I need to buy those clothes at Saks Fifth Avenue. I need to go buy those shoes. I need those shoes. Buy them yourself. Go out and work. You want expensive things? Go attain them. If a guy wants to buy you those things, if he loves you, he will buy them. But, the expectations are the worst thing in the world. The expectations are, part of what makes human beings so discontent. You just go out and be your friggin' self. And whatever happens, happens. Attraction rather than promotion. That's something else I learned. Just, you're yourself. When I started doing my own thing in 10th grade, I kind of put together a clothing style that was my own. It wasn't latest trends. It wasn't, the big hair or anything like. It wasn't the stuff in the 80s that everybody was popular. It wasn't the in style. It was what it was, and I loved it. And I walked in confident. I walked to school, and I was like, "Hey, what's up, everybody?" And I didn't care what anybody thought. I was just confident and I was happy to be out of that trap of trying to please people by dressing like them. So what happened to me? All of a sudden, people flocked around me. I didn't have a lot of friends in freshman year, so I was trying to be like everybody, and I was discontent. And I was constantly nervous and on guard. I let my guard down and I relaxed. People flocked around me. They all wanted to hang out with me. I mean, there were people that were like, "Ew, what is she doing? Why are you dressed like that?" And then there were other people like, "Wow, you're really brave. You love, and then we would just start talking about life, and they tell me about their problems with their boyfriends and tell me about their lives, and I'd listen to them, and I'd be, hanging out. That's what I learned was the right thing to do. And of course, my poor mom, again, the whole, just not really having a clue, because not really actually being there in school with me every day. She thought, well, she's getting picked on all the time, I would tell her about all my friends, but then I tell her once in a while about stupid people. But it's not like I talked about it all the time. But she didn't like my friends. My one friend, she thought, oh my God, she's taking her down the garden path. What garden path? Oh my God. Anyway, you go through what you go through, and parents want to protect their kids, So I have a lot of respect for my mom. But I also have to say that what's going on now kind of reminds me of how I felt at home when I was in 10th grade. What's going on now with adults telling each other what to do. It's very reminiscent of, like these trends, like people are kind of trying to control everything. It almost feels like George Orwell's Animal Farm. I hate to say it. If anybody's read that book, it's about these animals that are tired of being in captivity, tired of watching their friends get killed, tired of worrying about getting killed themselves. So they rise up and they overthrow the farmers, and they take over. Next thing you know, they start acting like the farmers. They start controlling everybody. And you got these two pigs battling it out for control. And next thing you know, they're all walking on two legs, hanging out with the guys in the bar, with the human men in the bar. It was a great book. But that's what's going on now. Women are walking around acting like men. Men are walking around acting like women. And everything's blurred. And nobody knows who anybody is anymore. Nobody knows who they are. Nobody has any selves anymore. They're like, who am I? What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to be? You're supposed to be yourself. It's like reconnecting with the self. Women are gatherers. Men are hunters. There's nothing wrong with that. Women in the olden days, they stayed home and they worked on the farm. They worked on the land. They weren't just in the house cooking and cleaning. They weren't just stuck in the house. They were outside working the land, taking care of their families, taking care of the kids. Celtic women would stand there and they would defend the home if they were attacked. The men would go out and fight the wars if there were any wars to fight, or they go out and hunt, bring the food home. And that's how nature was. And to this day, primally, we are still like that. But a lot of us are fighting it for some reason. Women have to go out and be pursuers. I'm not good at being a pursuer. I'm not comfortable with that. I'm not comfortable pursuing a guy. I'm not. I like to be pursued, you know? I like it when I'm asked to go places. I don't like putting out feelers, you know, and trying to be the one that pursues any situation. I mean, I will go and pursue a job. I'll go and pursue a situation that's going to make me money. Something that's going to make me, you know, like that I'm doing for myself. I don't know. I don't know if I'm even making any sense, but I had to do or say something and just sort of reflect on everything. Because I feel like feminism is getting it all wrong right now. I don't think it was perfect ever, but I also don't think that it should be, you know, taken for granted. I think that, you know, we can learn a lot from these situations. I mean, obviously, it's not about saying to a woman, oh, you got to stay home, cook and clean, I'm going to go out and work, you're a second-class citizen. No. That's not what it's about. You can still have equal pay, which I think we should have. You know, some of these angry men don't think we should have equal pay because these angry men say, well, men have more, you know, intense jobs than women. You know, one guy even said, you know, women are like being a mother is a difficult job. Come on, you sit around and watch soap operas all day. No, I won't go that far. I think he was just angry at all the idea. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say, because I'm not a mother anyway, but I'm not going to sit here and say that being a mother is more intense and more difficult than going out and working in a coal mine, for example, or do construction or whatever. I'm not going to say that per se. As far as raising the kids, childbirth, I'm not going to touch that. I've never had a child. But from what I hear, carrying that baby and then giving birth, don't tell me. You know, I'm not going to touch, I can't really comment too much on it because I've never been there. But from what I hear, no guy can sit there and tell me that what they do is more difficult than childbirth. You know? As far as raising the kids, men and women should do that together anyway. Maybe if a woman stays home with the kids all day, if she wants to be a stay-at-home mom, that's her choice. And maybe they have enough money that she can do that. Fine. You know? But raising a kid is not easy. From what I hear, secondhand, watching, and even watching my parents, even looking back and reflecting on what they went through with me and my sister, having to constantly think about us and our well-being, worrying about our safety. You know, we grew up in Philadelphia, and we took the subway every day to school. My mom was terrified of the subway, but she let us take it because, you know, and for some reason, I don't know why, but I never learned how to drive. I know why. I liked to take the subway. I thought it was fun back in the day. I liked to take SEPTA. I didn't really want to deal with driving because I don't know, I had a little phobia about car accidents. My sister learned to drive, but that was her choice. That being said, at this point, you know, I can look back and say, okay, this happened, that happened, and they were parents. They had to think about us. And sometimes it's hard not to react, I guess, when you're a parent. I'll never know. I just know from what I see, I don't take it for granted just because I've not been there, just because I don't have that experience. And notice I'm trying to be incredibly careful about what I comment on, you know. about the way I comment on parenthood, because it's not like I have that experience to really draw on. I just have the experience from watching my friends who are mothers and fathers, watching people I grew up with, my parents, other people's parents. Anyway, parenthood is not something to take for granted. Neither is working construction. But where did I get on this topic? I was talking about equal pay for men and women. I believe that we should be paid equally. If we're working, especially if we're working, in like a woman works in an office and she gets a promotion. What, she's going to get paid less money than the guy that has that same job that she has in the same level? No. Why? It doesn't make sense to me. But that's, my point was, I'm not saying that, that women and men should have different pay. I'm saying that we should respect each other for who we are. I am not a man. Women are not men. Men are not women. We can be whatever our nature is, we can be that. Just respect each other. That's the bottom line. And I think that's all I need to say to wrap this up. I think y'all know what I mean. So thanks for listening. Take care.